So, context, right? You're not going to get very far in Power BI without somebody saying to you, context is important, right? Context is everything in Power BI. One of the things I wanted to show you today was just how much of a mess you can get into if you don't know your context. Alright, lads and lasses, welcome along. Weekend work. What I was going to go through today, right, was looking really at how can we apply context and how is context applied by DAX as we go through and we'll look at measures. In particular, one of the things I was wanting to look at was really how our inspections are being handled and by whom. So let's cut our into Power BI desktop and have a look. Champion. Alright, so here we are, our in Power BI desktop. Okay, what I've done is I've pulled this in and I've built something based on, just trying to show me what's the percentage values that are done by any particular company. Okay, I've got that as a full table there and I've just filtered it down a bit on the chart on the left, right? Knee big shakes there, I hear you say, right? That looks pretty good. We can see that Rosenbach Tank & Coal LLC is dealing with 45.5% of our inspections. So how does that equate in terms of last year? What did they do last year? So if we kind of drag 2020 across there, why is that dropped down to 10%? Well, 11, really, 10.9%, 11%. Why's that happened? Right? But is that right? Is that right? Technically, that's right, but it's not right. It's not the way we meant it to be. Right? So what have I done? So if we look at the measure that was written here, right, I've done something. This is a real classic here. And this is one of the areas that I look at when I'm training people up and we go through and we talk about like the Dunning-Kruger effect. Another video, put a link in the thing down below to the video on the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? This is one of those points I look for when we know that you're getting to your peak and it's now time to push you off the cliff and blow your confidence out the water, and then we can build you back up and you'll be like, I can do this. This is easy, right? Filter contexts and row contexts are all changed when you start to use DAX. So what's happening here is we've got an inspections measure, right, which is effectively, right, if I add the comment to it, right, we can put what it is. It's actually count rows of the inspection table. Okay, that's what's happening. So it's going to count the rows of that table. Okay, but it's not counting it against the whole table. What's coming in here is the filter context that's going to be passed to it. So the dates that have been selected in the other measures, if there's a value that relates to something else. So here where we've got the inspected by firm, that's going to impact it. And we can see this measure, the count rows measure here as to what it is with all those contexts taken into account. That's fine. When you then combine that with an all, right, what you're saying is, well, give me the whole table. So what we're then saying is, well, yeah, you've got all these other contexts. Ignore them, man. It didn't matter. Don't matter, right? So it's going to go and give me the total row count. I don't want the total row count. I wanted the row count for all the companies in in terms of the inspections. So we want this to stay as 100%, but for my company, yeah. So I can work out what my company's doing. I'm looking, or this line item company is doing. So what we end up having to do is be a little bit sensible about when we're adjusting context. Okay? And that's something that's vital, and you have to really start to understand that. So in the example that we've got here, right, I've solved it already, okay, by changing it. So instead of just looking at inspections, we're looking at that column. So give us all the values for that column. So just give us everything for that column. So if I bring that into the table that we've got down below, right, what you can see now is if we pick a range, that's staying at 100% for the total, and that's staying in the order of magnitude that we would expect. Yeah. So we can now have this working. And it's all about getting your context right. So get your context right, understand when to use the right contextual pieces, right? And how they all start to slot together. Don't worry though, okay? This is something that takes a lot of time and effort to really overcome. So if you're going like, he's done what? Don't understand, man, you're stupid. Right? You're not alone. Right? Honestly, lots of people look at me and go like, oh, you what? So what do you reckon then? Context. It's all in the context, isn't it? This is the start of the journey, okay? Calculate in itself seems really simple, okay? We talk a lot about adding filter context into a calculate. And as I say, warning signs for me are when I see people starting to add the adjusting filters into calculators, because it just, things go wrong quickly, easily. And if you're not like kind of, oh, I understand what's going on, right? You can really hurt yourself. So this example has led to, there's a couple of things I hope you're going to see, right? If we cut back hour into it, right? Firstly, it's not rocket science. We can just need to be aware of what we're doing, but that's going to limit the use of this inspected by percentage, right? To only be used by inspected by, or with inspected by, which kind of makes sense. You wouldn't really want to be looking at inspected by in combination with something else, but we need to be aware of what's going on, yeah, and do some testing to understand, is that going to fit all the use cases of my business? The other thing that we're noticing here is I've done a top 5 here just to kind of have, these are the top 5 companies that are doing inspections, right? I hope you can see I've got i6 Brothers Inc., i6 Brothers Inc., just spelled differently. There's a comma, a full stop and a comma, right? But both of them are doing big numbers. It's nearly 6,000 there, another 1,000 there. So, 7,000 inspections, and it's coming through as 2 different companies. We've got this American pipe and tank area, right? It's coming through as lots, right? That's another nearly 3,000 there. And I know if we go further down, there's more of both of those, there's more of all sorts. So this is a key area that we'll talk through in the videos next week in terms of how we manage it, what's the best way to go through dealing with it. Don't forget, like and subscribe down below. Head on out to the website where we've now got the membership area. Let's see you all join in. We're going to have more talks, more conversations about it. I really want to get the super user community fully operational. I've tried, it's been, right? I want to get more people involved. Let's get better, yeah? Because the more of us help each other, it can only get better, can't they? Sure, there's a song like that, things can only get better. Anyway, have a great weekend. Take care. Stay safe. Ta-da.